Hello and welcome back to the Beard Before Wicket podcast. We've literally just finished watching India against England. India have lost it right at the end from some comical way to lose. We're going to get to that. We're joined by ex-England cricket international Owais. What, are you surprised?
About what?
You are an ex-England.
Oh, yeah. I did play for England, I think.
So we've literally just come off the back of England winning in the last second. I was hoping we could watch it live here. I was going to put it there and we get like a live reaction because the way it ended was mental. We'll talk about the way it ended. We have a guest with us. Owais, how are you, man?
I'm very good.
You studied this test apparently. You said before we started recording you studied. Rash said you're on, so I'm expecting all the bits of knowledge.
Yeah, of course. Well, Rash messaged me Monday. Last week. He said, "Oh, can you do this podcast?" I'm like, "Okay." Does that mean I have to watch every single ball? I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to be any good at this, I need to bloody watch every ball, don't I? So yeah, I watched most of the sessions. I watched.
I thought you might have relied on your own personal career, like you've played the game. Sometimes, like, this is what Rash does this a bit. He relies on the fact that he will just know what's happened.
Yeah,
Rash always winged it.
Or you just follow the score sometimes and just try to work it like that. I'm surprised you watched all the game, every single ball.
Every single ball, man.
Yeah, the first game you watched for a long time, every single ball.
Every single ball for a very long time.
Really?
Yeah, for a very long time.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Captain Stokes, we said last episode he was criticised. People online were criticising him. You said it was unfair. This time it feels like he got nearly everything right. And then on top of that, he bowled really well, which I think he was getting criticised for as well. But you said like the England team will keep their faith in him whenever he says something.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Stokes, like I say, he's been proven over the past couple of years what kind of captain he is. First, his attitude, the way he goes about things, that fearlessness, but that thing of a leader. You can see it in him that he's a leader as well. So just by showing even to this test match, the way he went about things, the way he was positive, aggressive. You know, if you lose a test match or two, even the greats of the game of captaining have lost many a test. So if he loses a couple of tests here and there, that shouldn't be questioned because you lose games. Not every single person or captain is going to make the right decision, right call at the exact right time. I don't think it's possible, is it?
No, it's
People
not.
make mistakes.
You know what Stokes has got? And it's very an un-English type character is the fact that he knows how to win. Yes, I know he lost the last test match. We know that, but that's just a blip. He knows how to win, and he knows how to win moments. Go back to Headingley, right? He's probably going to be renowned for that knock forever. The World Cup final. This test match, after getting a lot of stick in the media, like you mentioned, and you know what he did? That wicket he got on the day 4.
Was it the last one?
Last wicket he got. It happens to be him who almost sort of shifts the balance back into England's favour. 3 down. All of a sudden you're 4 down and you get rid of the night watches. That means the main batsman has to come out first thing in the morning. And we all know in England, ball moves around first thing in the morning. He just happens to be in those moments, doesn't he? And he wins them. So that's the beauty about Ben Stokes. He may have had a little knockdown in that last test, but he comes back on top. And him and Brendan McCullum I don't know how, they just know how to win, and I freaking love it.
Stokes, he's got the knack, man. Like
It's the big moments.
But how? Like, explain to me how someone
it's
can
that,
arrive
first,
at
I
the
think
right
it's that leadership, but it's also a lot of it. I think is got to do with his upbringing as a young kid. I think a lot of that is installed in him of upbringing, of making sure that you play with passion, you have that real fight in you. So you take that on, especially now him being captain. So he has that even more of making sure he wants to be a leader, and that everybody's behind him, which they are. Not just like I said, players, but even the crowd. They're all behind him. And that actually gears up even more. And knowing that he also has a responsibility as well, which gets him, like I said, even more up for it and stuff. So I think, like I said, his captaincy, not just like I said, this test match, but throughout since he's been taken over, has been tremendous.
You know what he does, right? And a bit going on from what I mentioned earlier, he knows how to win. He has gone against the grain, right? He has teamed up with Brendan McCullum, gone against the English media of the brand of test cricket we play. He said, you know what? That is how everyone's done it. This is how I'm going to do it. If you go back to all the other England captains, Joe Root, Vaughan, all these guys, they've always
Went the traditional way.
followed a pattern. And he's just gone against the grain. And no wonder for me, he's made Test cricket exciting in England. Everybody watches it now. People don't say, oh yeah, boring cricket. No, it's an exciting game of cricket, isn't it? It's a lot of fun.
100%.
That's a big like sort of like one thing is being captain of England. There's a huge responsibility then to go like, I'm actually going to change the direction of cricket in this country. That's I think we've spoken about Owen Morgan did that for England, but turned England into a winning team. But Ben Stokes has done it from a different way completely. Where, like you said, like anytime England play cricket now, the TV's on.
It's just that mindset of you risk losing in search of a win. The great Imran Khan said that a lot. So obviously Pakistani roots, and so I don't know how much you followed Imran Khan. So Imran Khan was, a big name when I was a kid. And you heard his media talks, and he always spoke a lot about don't be scared to lose in search of a win. And that's exactly what I feel Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum are doing. They don't care about draws.
Yeah, we've said that a lot, right? We've said that a lot on the pod. Like Rash and both basically said that this version of it, this England team, just wants to win. There's not like if you lose the way we want to lose. Like we want to play.
That's the exciting thing now, isn't it? So you know when England play, every time they play now, they're always playing to win. So like I said, over the past 2 years, there's not been no boring games with England. Okay, they might have lost games, which again everybody loses, but they're always searching to win. And if they do lose, and they all take it as a team on the chin, they crack on, and they have the mentality again to win. Even if they go in a series and lose 3-0, they'll prefer doing that than having the draws because they know they've always put themselves in a potential position to win the game. I think that sets him apart from now the previous generation, for example, for England. I reckon obviously this generation has brought it back alive as well of playing Test cricket, especially like I say in England. So yeah, they're doing a tremendous job so far.
It helps also when you can call on Jofra Archer, like we discussed this, and like honestly, a lot of people were naturally online, and I thought the same. I thought he's been out for like the best part of 4 years, where he's been in and out, had some serious injuries, comes back 5 wickets, super economical, but he's got the fear factor. When the ball's in his hands, like I think Jadeja looked comfortable, then Archer comes back on, and you're thinking Jadeja doesn't want this battle now.
Well, he certainly was different. I would say, he sort of stands out. If you look at the last Test match, no Jasprit Bumrah. I know Archer didn't play the last Test match. I felt that the Indian batsman looked extremely comfortable, especially Shubman Gill. Firstly, I want to say Shubman Gill was a class act. But at no point did I feel Shubman Gill was under pressure from pace. Well, we know that there's hardly any seam movement this summer for some reason in England, especially in that last Test at Edgbaston. At no time did he go like that and just follow the ball. So all of a sudden you come to Lords, the ball did seam around a little bit slowly, albeit it did seam around. But that pace, the way Jofra bowled, he does show you that when you've got that 90 miles an hour standard ball around 88, 90 miles an hour, that's where he operates now. It shows you that, look, you better be on your game, otherwise you're gone. I mean, Jaswal, yes, he's a young guy, found that out. First ball, just left him down the slope, nicked off, and the second ball, bit too quick for him to pull.
But I don't think it's just the pace. It's the way he actually goes about his bowling, his action, his rhythm. He's like I said, when he runs into ball, it's not a hustle and bustle and gets there. It's a relaxed, gets there, zip, bang. It's the last moment where he generates all the pace and the bounce and the moment, which makes him that effectiveness. That makes him hard to play because you think he's just ambling in, but next minute, 93, 94 clicks. 100%.
You said about Archer like ambling in and not having the hustle and bustle. When he was younger, if you remember, he was like quite a fiery character, wasn't he?
No, he's still, the thing that fiery character is always in him, but it'll be moments of when, for example, this Test match now, you looked how pumped up he was. He was fired because he had that thing in him. There's other times when he's more relaxed, when he's not as fired up. But so there's moments of when he knows when to, when the crowd's behind him, when the team needs it at most, when you know there's going to be a win, when his tail's open, his bowling, he's on top of the batsman and stuff. So he goes in periods of when to, when not to. And this Test match showed, I think throughout the whole Test, he actually put it in fifth gear in that sense. There was no laying off the gas. Regardless of the pace, I'm not talking about the pace, I'm just talking about his intent, his mindset, that aggressiveness, I'm coming for you kind of mentality.
But also, you got to remember, he hasn't played Test cricket for a good number of years. So it's his first Test. I mean, in theory, he's pretty fresh.
Good place to work on your fitness. India in a Test, like like we discussed about Bumrah, he might, like, say in Archer's situation, he might not play the next test, or he might not play the whole test. Like, they've got to get basically figure out how his body performs. As for India, Jadeja, the standout man. Like, when I was watching this last day, you must have played in these situations where it feels like this guy's never going to go. Like, I was like, if we played for another 5 days, he's not going to be the guy who gets out. He was just an unbelievably good all-round cricketer, isn't he?
He is, mate. And I mean, you got a couple of 50s in this game, and
4 50s back to back now.
Well, in the series.
Has he?
But I was just going to say that I was speaking to Rash before we did this, and I was saying that the way I saw the game last night after Stokes, you got that wicket, and I thought, well, the only two guys who may well spoil English party would be Rishabh Pant or Jadeja, because they both have that ability to get in and then score quick runs, and they can take fielders on. You know, the 6 hitting is not an issue for those two especially, and they're only chasing about 150.
Yeah.
And you would have thought that if one of those comes off, and all you got to do is bat around one of them to whoever gets in. You know, India is still be maybe slightly favourites. And I know Jadeja got some runs tonight, and he did, like you said, it didn't look like getting out. It just felt like everybody else couldn't quite give them the support that those two needed. But Jadeja is a very good cricketer. Is somehow maybe hasn't been that effective with the ball this series so far. But like you mentioned, if it's not with the ball, he's with the bat.
Yeah, so
I mean,
he's like you say, he's a genuine all-rounder.
He is.
He's a genuine
100%.
all-rounder with the ball and bat, so he can get in the team as a bowler and a batter. It's sure, obviously, like you just said, 450s back to back to back.
And if you look up, and if you go back to the England series back in India, he came in at 5 a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a proper batter. Bats at number 5. He walked in at number 5 at times. So that's how much faith the Indian setup has in him.
Gun fielder as well.
Honestly, he's one of the best in the world.
Yeah. How old is he now? 36 probably? 37? He's
Probably around 36, 37. He's been around, but he's real experienced as well. He's been playing for past 10, 12 years, 13 years he's been playing at the highest level.
He was one of the players that was involved in what people were saying, the needle in the game. Before we recorded, you said, was there needle?
I've actually not seen the footage of what you're talking about.
So yeah, he basically goes for a run. I think Cast tries to block him. You know, they do the classic, like, they move out of the way, but then as Jadeja gets round him, you can see Cast is holding on to him to pull him down.
grab him?
100% grabbed him, 100%. And then they had like a head-to-head, and then Stokes stands in between.
It
was fiery. It was similar to sort of like when Siraj, I can't remember, who did he get out? He got someone out and then...
Duckett.
Yeah, got Duckett out and jumped in his face. It was kind of like that.
So there's a balance in there. Like everybody talks about, there's a balance of when to draw the line. But I think in terms of entertainment purposes, from looking from outside to in, or whether you're at the ground, is like real entertainment. You want to switch on to watch this kind of stuff because it gets you right. I want to watch this. It gets that battle, that test match feeling. Because I remember back in the days, what you said 15, 20 years ago, when they played test cricket, they used to have them kind of, fights in that sense. The McGraths, the Laras, they used to have that real thing. So for this to come about like this, I say in terms of entertainment purposes, very good.
I'm a big campaigner for cricket needs this. That's what this is. When these clips go viral on social media, like, people are not watching Jadeja hit his 50 in a test match. I mean, people who don't watch cricket, you've got like the younger guys, maybe your son who's 14. He probably wants to see like two guys square up to each
100%.
other. Like, it brings neutrals in, right? Like, it's the fun part of the game.
As much as I love that, trust me, I love it. I love the fact there's needle, there is plenty of abuse when there's the stump mic is off. I love that. But you also got to remember there are kids watching TV.
100%.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And you don't want to be setting those sort of examples.
Yeah.
So that's the flip side of it. That's the wrong side of what we're trying to do on TV. However, entertainment value, I agree with both of you. How much fun is it when there's a bit of banter going on, and you do get the odd send off, and it just fires you up. And remember, when you get a send off as a batter, you have got it stored up there, because when it's your turn in the field and when that guy gets out, you are going to run past him shouting whatever you need to shout.
And that's what it was from both sides, wasn't it? Like you say, because this whole test match looked hostile.
Yeah.
It looked like a good one to watch in that sense.
What's that like after? Because it seems like after everyone's just chilling and they get along. Yeah. Is that how it actually plays out?
Generally you do, but sometimes you may have a bit of not a personal thing. Sometimes you may hold a grudge against another one because of whatever happened in the game. But generally, after the game, I'll say after the series, generally you have the whole handshake and you get to chat and stuff. But I think when it's on the pitch, no holds barred type of thing, isn't it?
100%. But I think, what you also realise that I think guys are a lot more friendlier now because of all these leagues that everybody plays in. I mean, a lot of our English players play in the IPL. So, you play with Indian players, against players, and it's not at the same level as, of course, international cricket. You're not playing for your country, so you are chilled out. So you get to know each other a little bit, and you do carry those friendships on. Of course, on the pitch, of course, it's war. And when, it strikes 6:30, the game is done, or the day play is done, of course you have a chat and have a drink together and just talk cricket.
Harry Brook, I think, was at slip and Reddy was batting, and he was saying to him, "Hey, ready. It's not the IPL anymore. It's not the IPL
Is that what you're saying?
Jaddu's going to get the runs. You're not gonna. And obviously Indian fans are going crazy.
Is that what Brookie was saying?
Yeah. Oh, it surprised me, to be fair.
Why?
I've always thought of him as like a quiet guy, doesn't really like get involved. But this felt like one of those matches where everyone was kind of.
I think those two are friends, right? From Hyderabad, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they played together at Hyderabad.
Yeah. So, these are the friendships that are developed.
Yeah. In cricket, like this level of competition, like Siraj, for example, was like the villain for a lot of people. So the fact that he's the guy who gets out for that last one is really funny. But like the way he jumped up in front of Duckett, I thought that's like it's competitive. I don't think it goes too far. I think he was fined like 15% of his.
Yeah, so that's
like so maybe it went a bit too far.
I do think that ICC guidelines are a bit too strict at times. I think if he jumps, there's a bit of aggression, a bit of a send off. It's not the end of the world. I don't believe in people squaring up on a pitch. It's sport. Yeah, we're not at war. As much as it is war, we're not at war. We're not trying to kill each other. We're playing sport. So let's put things into context. But if you do find yourself fired up in the moment, that heat of the moment, just let it play out a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, you're talking more so in terms of the umpires and stuff.
Yeah, I just think it's just let it go.
Yeah.
It's fine. A bit of banter.
Yeah.
I remember playing against Glenn McGrath's Shane Warne. Shane Warne who bowled the ball, he walked down and talked to whoever was bowling behind, keeper, Gilchrist or whatever. Yeah, you're Owais. And you'll be like, did he just see? What? And the umpire wouldn't have heard it. And you're like, it's fun. It's banter. It's the same thing when Warne would come in, you'd say, yeah, come on, fatty, or whatever. It's a bit of fun. You've got to have that banter. Yeah. Otherwise, it's too boring.
Yeah. Obviously, I was actually going to ask you about this because I knew you played against these guys, and I was going to say like that Australia team is the Australia team that I grew up watching.
Yeah,
well, those guys are hot.
Warne McGrath,
yeah, the greats. Right? They were some of the best cricketers playing,
but they were horrible to play against. And
so that was the thing though. Every time you come up against Australia back then, when they had the Warnes, the McGraths, or the Haydens, it was always a thing knowing that right when you come up against them, they're going to give it to you. They were going to give, or they had that mentality, or they were almost. Fellas that almost had a meeting before and saying, right, this is how we're going to go about things against anybody. That's what it feels like. So when they go out there, they play against them guys, it would always be feels they're right. They're just really nailing you.
They're getting after you.
Yeah, getting under your skin, obviously, and that's the aim of what they want to try to do.
Genuine question, without naming any names, can you remember someone you came up against and you were like, yeah, they gave me loads of stick, and normally I'm cool with people, but this one I've got a grudge against. Can you remember one in your head?
I reckon more so Ace.
Really?
I was quite chill.
Grudge against? I don't know about that, but Shane Warne always gave me stick. And rather than go back at him, I just started agreeing with the great man. He said, "You're shit, mate." I'm like, "I agree with you, buddy. You're right. I'm shit. I don't know what I'm doing here, but let's just get on with the game." So I didn't want to give him any fuel to get back, and that was my way of trying to negate the great man. He got me out millions of times. What a bowler he was. But yeah, look, probably him. I didn't have too many ding dongs with many opposition.
Because he would have got it a lot more. Because obviously him being a batter.
Yeah.
Myself, I would get it as much because when I bat,
you do the giving.
What do I come in bat number 9, 10, 11? What are they going to say to me?
The game's gone.
What would they say? You know what I mean? The banter, or they won't say much.
Very true.
But and vice versa. When I'm bowling, sometimes I wouldn't give anybody a real abuse because I ball spin, but I would give them sometimes you have to stare or you're in that real fighting thing. But it would never be like abusing or what you doing. Or
he's just got the magic googly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I've got Coley in there, hasn't he? Coley in his pocket. That's enough. That's enough, mate. You got Coley in your pocket with that Google.
But you know what the best thing is? Do you know if you're a rapid bowler and you know you got the bounces, you bowl 90 odd clicks. But if you come out to bat as a fast bowler and the opposition, for example, comes and start bowling your bounces, you know in your head, right, you're noting it down. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know. I'll give you
sure.
an example like Joff. Joff even does it in the nets. For example, he's good like he's like that. So when he bats in the nets, and if he sees somebody bowling a bouncer to him or Wanga, he'll note it down, meaning in his own head, thinking, right, next time I play against you, you're having it. so even for Joff, for somebody like that, if somebody's bowling bouncers to him rapid or whatever, when he's gonna come into ball, he'll remember that and be right, okay, you're having it here.
Why not?
Couple of bouncers, bang, Yorker, bowled, or whatever it is. But then he'll do that to everybody as well. So
here's one for you then. If you were to come back as a cricketer, leg spinner or the fastest bowler? If you were to do it again.
leg spinner like Shane Warne.
Leg spinner okay. Best leg spinner in the world or best fast bowler in the world?
Oh.
You can bounce anyone anytime you
Yeah, but
want.
with leg spinner, you know, I'm having fucking ball a googly and slide there.
Yeah, but you ain't hurting anyone.
Yeah.
No one's fearing you.
No. But the fast ballers, if you're a fast bowler, you got that fear factor, thinking.
Everyone's scared of you.
Yeah.
Oh. But that's nice to have that. So yeah, I think I'm probably a fast bowler.
Fast
Just so
bowler.
that you
Bully
know that, you know what?
Drop the bouncer.
You say anything to me, you're having it.
Yeah,
You better be
yeah,
careful
yeah.
what you say.
Love that.
Break his tongue.
Back to India. KL Rahul. He's been getting. I would say he's been getting stick online from the sort of like cricket purists. He's getting endless love for the way he bats. We had a cover drive conversation, and people said we didn't mention his cover drive as one of the best in the world. But generally, I think he's now arrived in this place where I think he's like mildly underrated. But I think every single team would have him, no doubt.
100%. I think he's a serious player. I think he's improved massively, even though he was a class player before. But now, just this 3 tests, the way he's shaping up, even you would say the way he defends the ball, the drives, he looks like he's got his game in order. And he's someone who may go under the radar because before you had the Gills, you had the Kohli, Rohit Sharma, so you had these names that were obviously the standout names. So he may go a bit under the radar. But now I feel as though it's his time in that way where he's got that responsibility of opening. He's worked out his game in certain ways, and he's now seeing that he's got hundreds, 50s, but just shows that he's got his game in order. And for me, he's a class player.
I agree. I think he's been in the shadow of Kohli. And of course, with Kohli at the crease, was always going to be your main batsman. And of course, KL Rahul was under the radar, but this is his time to flourish. This is the first series without Virat Kohli. That batting order, now when you look at that batting order, yes, Shubman Gill has done really well. I wasn't expecting it, I must admit, for him to achieve what he has so far. I did not think Shubman Gill had it in him to do what he's done, but hats off to him. I mean, what a player, the way he's played. I still feel that KL Rahul is probably the best batsman in the batting lineup who you should be able to rely on. And it's time for KL Rahul to deliver the sort of numbers his technique, temperament, promise. He can, I mean, for me, he's one of the best players of spin bowling, by the way. You watch him play spin, I think he's outstanding. Yes, he's going to open, so of course he's going to be susceptible to that new ball nicking him off sometimes. But if he gets in, I think he's probably the best batsman India have. But however, a lot of people will argue, well, look at Shubman Gill now. He's been really good. I still feel KL Rahul over maybe say 10, 15 test matches may well outscore Shubman Gill. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's a really good player. And I think you will see in the next 12 months, KL Rahul really come about.
100%.
Do you think maybe he's underhyped because he's such a quiet character? Like, so I think
Quite chilled,
yeah,
relaxed, and just
he
goes
never
under the
makes a
radar.
scene. He's never really involved in things that are happening. He's not too involved in media.
Or
doesn't
maybe
do too many interviews.
that's how he is as an individual, quite relaxed and stuff, and doesn't really care if it's all about him or not about him. He knows, right, this is my job, this is what I want to do. Not really fussed if people say, I'm not that good, I'm underrated or I'm overrated or whatever. I think that doesn't really faze him or doesn't really look into that much.
So he does deliver all formats, like in any situation. People say Josh Butler is the 360 batter. I read someone tweet earlier that KL Rahul's the all situation batter. Like whenever you're in a pickle, like he'll get you out of it. He's very relaxed when he comes to the crease. I think he got out this Stokes LBW possibly in this test, was it?
Yeah.
It was. And even that was a little bit.
Well, you're not watching.
I was I was studying.
Yeah, I was watching it.
You were keeping up with the score.
But how do I know he got LB? That.
Came up on the live.
I watched that one, actually.
Another situation has been going on online. Sam Billings tweeted this, and I'll read it out to you for those at home who might not have seen it. Of course, the balls are an issue. They have been for a while, but I think the drainage systems at all these grounds have made it so hard to get pace into the pitch, and the wicket blocks. Sucks every ounce of moisture out of the grounds. By no means an expert, but a thought. The idea here is that a lot of people, including Stuart Burrow, I think he tweeted something that Test cricket's become slower.
In England, obviously.
In England, yeah. There's issues with the balls. There's a lack of pace in the wickets. And generally, because of this, Test cricket is suffering.
It's the weather kicks in, doesn't it? So, for example, this summer now, it's been the driest summer for a long, long time. So, naturally, probably the pitches are going to be flatter, a bit slower. The ball is going to get out of shape a lot more because the lacquer comes off within 15, 20 overs. So I think that, and plus also the square, when you go to a lot of these grounds, the square is now quite big. So they have these scuff pitches on either side. So the ball is going to, I think, over the 30, 40 overs old, it's going to get a bit old. So it may need a change then as well. But I think obviously the weather plays the biggest part, I think.
That's what it is, isn't it? If you go back, say, 15, 20 years ago, if you looked at Lords, I was lucky enough to make that was my home ground, and we knew that if it rained, the water always collected just underneath that tavern, around the tavern stand, underneath the home dressing room. And that was the end of day's play. You were not going to get back on. Since they've changed it into that sand-based ground, so that the ground can just soak up the moisture. They've got this amazing drainage system so that you can play cricket, but at the detriment of perhaps the kind of wickets we're getting, which got no life because there's no moisture. And yes, we are talking just about the problem here. Well, let's talk about the solution. Could drop-in pitches be a way forward in English cricket? Because then that way you can, I don't know how drop-in wickets would work, but you could perhaps tailor-make it where there is pace, there is the grass in, there is moisture left in, and then you just drop it in. And then you've got best of both worlds, good wickets. The ground soaks up the water as soon as it rains. Of course, we're always going to get, can't have rain without in an English summer. So I think that could be the solution for it. But whether we have the facility or the nous or how to get about a drop-in pitch, I don't know. Up until then, I think this is just a problem we're going to just have to put up with.
Right, interesting. And I think that debate's going to carry on. In my head, I was like, we're watching a great test, man. Like, I'm not that bothered about the rain for now. Or like,
there's been 3 results. Just even these test matches alone, there's been results. It's not like yet they've been draws.
Yeah.
There's not been 3 draws. There's been 3 results. So it shows that generally the pitches have been.
They're doing their job. Yeah, they're doing their job.
Good.
Yeah.
But also the brand of cricket, right? I think it also helps. The brand and the pace of play nowadays, of course, as long as England are playing, like I mentioned, they're not interested in any draws. And that's just beauty of Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes, bringing that brand of cricket in England to say we are here to win or lose. There's no such thing in draws. And that's what makes cricket exciting again. And one thing I do want to say on this podcast, leave Test cricket alone. Yeah. I don't like these 4-day Test matches. It's 5-day cricket.
Keep the tradition up.
Yeah, we've just had a result at just after tea on day 5.
All 3 tests have gone that way.
There you go. So
5th day, last hour, they all have gone the same way.
So stop tinkering with it. Leave it alone. It's brilliant.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. For the man that doesn't play that much Test,
Doesn't that much, don't play any now.
Yeah. Away from India, England, did you see the Mulder situation with the Brian Lara record? Basically, Mulder had a chance to go past Brian Lara's record, chose not to. I'll give you my thoughts after. I'm not the cricketer, nobody cares. What are your thoughts on this? Do we like this? Are we against this? Like, is it a nice thing to do? Is it too nice?
Yes, you can answer that first. As a batsman who potentially could have got that score.
Yeah,
potentially.
Nowhere near. Mate, look, you grow up as a kid, right? And if you're half decent at a particular sport, you think about playing for your country. Then if that comes along, then you start thinking, can I make a name for myself? And that's something that Mulder had an opportunity. And yes, of course, he will be remembered for getting a 100 for South Africa. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what kind of sportsman doesn't want to be number 1. That's something that it baffles me a little bit, I must admit. If you play the game, which is not easy, especially as a batsman, as we all know, 13 ways of getting out or something like that. to put that all on one side and manage to get a 100 and plus, be in sort of touching distance of the world record. And you go, you know what? No, I'm all right. I'm all right with number 2. I'm not sure if that sits well with me.
Go on, Rash.
I think he said everything there. He just covered everything. But I think for me personally, if I was on 360, whatever it was, 67,
yeah.
you think you just keep carrying on until the captain calls you out. I think you just carry on. You just keep batting until they call you out. And if the captain says, right, we get 380, they pull you out. Yeah. If you keep going, because this, you got to remember, is once in a lifetime thing. You're not every day going to get a triple 100 and stuff. You know what I mean? But also, how old is Mulder?
Good question. Probably in his 30s, I reckon.
Okay, cool. So, because if he was fairly young in that sense, 25, 26, if he got that 400,
27 actually.
27, so he's still got the potential 10 years. So he can potentially be a great in the sense of, for South Africa, you don't know in the 10 years what you can achieve. So he could be that person. If he did get that 400, going on to get 150, all of a sudden, he's that person people are talking about. Oh, he's got that 400.
Yeah.
Because after that, he's got 15, 20, 100. So you don't know what's going to happen in Test cricket.
Yeah, you don't know.
So potential, I don't know.
I mean, Lara got 375. Then, of course, Hayden broke his record, and then within, I think, a month or 2 months, Lara said, "Thanks very much, Matthew, but there was only number one left-hander in the world, and that's me." And he took a 400 against. But
there's a
England.
difference as well. So Lara got the 375 against England.
Yes,
Then
and
he got
the 400 against England.
So there's a difference against England and difference against Zimbabwe. Yeah. So at least the England. No,
but the record will still show.
No, the record will still show, but for firstly to get 375 against anybody, is
get triple 100, get a double 100 against a
100%
test playing nation, or
but it just sounds a lot better 400 against England.
Of course,
because it's a proper team.
Yeah, because we've been playing cricket for centuries.
So I'll counter it. I'm actually on your side here. I also agree that if you're an elite of anything, you want to be number one. Like no one's playing to be the second best car garage in the UK. You're not playing for the second best cleaner job in the UK. You want to be number one. So I looked at this situation, but if I'm on the other side and I was reading what people were saying, they were saying Mulder recognises that he shouldn't be number one of a list that he's not the greatest of.
No, but what I was saying, so you go ahead.
No, go on.
So what I was saying is though, if he got that 400, then after that, he could potentially be this great or a great, depending on what he does in the next 10 years.
But I guess
because these chances will never come again.
But I guess he's not wired that way. Not everybody's wired that way.
No, they're not.
The biggest eye opener for me was, I remember playing for Middlesex years ago, and I asked this question in the dressing room. I was pretty young. I was about 21, 22, and I asked the question: doesn't everybody want to play for England in this team? And some of the guys said, actually, no. This is my England. Middlesex is my England. Playing first class cricket I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand it, but it made sense later because not everyone has that mental capacity or that drive to go to the top, or may not have what it takes to get to the top. You got to learn to accept that.
See, I'm with you, but once you reach 367. You're at the top, like you're nearly at the top. Like you've done something.
But like what he's not wired that way. He may be wired, right? I see. Maybe his idol when he was growing up was Lara. So he's thinking, no, I can't go past Lara because he's got so much love for Lara, so much passion, and he's a great. He needs to remain because he did so much for the game, so much for the sport that I want him personally to be there. Even though yes, I could go past him, but you know what? I don't want. I want his name to remain as a legacy, as the legend.
And you also got to remember that if you become the world record holder, the off-field stuff that comes with it, have you got the mental capacity to deal with all of that? All of a sudden, you are number uno. Yeah, there's no more Brian Lara, mate. So you got to forget about everybody. All the attention goes to you. Yeah, can you cope with it? We don't know. I don't know Mr. Mulder personally, but perhaps he didn't want that. We don't know. We can only speculate here and say, well, maybe that, maybe this. But it's hell of a thing to say, I don't want to take the big man's record. Yeah. Good on you. Fair enough. If it was me, I'd be like, thank you very much. I want a few more runs.
Love it. If you want to see more test reviews, then make sure you subscribe, follow the channel. Owais, you have your own Instagram. I don't know, how active are you on Instagram? Not very, right?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty active. Yeah, pretty active.
We'll put Oasis' Instagram in the description.
So make sure you follow me. Yeah. No one's following me.
Give him a follow. If you enjoyed this, then as I say, like and share across whatever platform you're watching on. We'll see you on the next one.